welcome back to the channel. As you just saw, I just peeked into the composter. I built that about 4 or 5 years ago. It was just a project. I have no idea about composting. I'm trying to learn, and that was one that came up, that I came across a video on the internet. Looked kind of cool. Tried it out. Not really sure it's the optimal situation, especially given where we are. We got a little more room than maybe something that was designed for here out in the wilderness a little bit. So I'm going to try and do something a little different. And again, I'm just going to make something up as I go here, utilizing some stuff I got laying around. And I'll try to teach myself a little bit about composting, look at some videos and whatnot, obviously, but which I've already done a little bit of. And first thing I want to do is change that whole setup and go with some kind of fencing and make like a circular type of bin. So I thought, here's some fencing. You can see it too well, but basically that's some fencing that we had around the garden. We bought some new fencing when we first put up the garden and bought a roll of fencing. We just didn't buy enough of it, so I had this laying around. It was some old fencing laying on the property here when we bought it. So I just put it back to use and finished wrapping the garden with it. But this spring I ripped it off because I need to get in there and change the garden. As you've been watching some of our videos, you might have seen. We took out some of the raised beds. In the process, I ended up removing this fencing, and I just kind of threw it over here in the woods for now, just back behind the log yard, just to get it out of my way at the time. And we picked up a new roll, which we're going to finish putting around the garden once I get to making a couple of posts. I need to cut up a couple of these here on the sawmill to make some posts to hang the new fencing on. At any rate, so I've got this old fencing, and it's still good enough to do something with. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece of this off, and we're going to drag it back over to where I'm going to put the new compost pile. And we're going to get started on making new compost piles. Ellie with me here, standing on the fence for me. So I'm trying to do this with one hand here. We'll see how this goes. Shouldn't be too difficult to do. I'm just going to basically cut these off halfway up. So I've rolled up a section. I don't know exactly how much I have here, but basically from the videos I've seen, I'm going to try and copy a design. Sorry about the camera moving here. I got fencing rolling up on me, and Ellie sticking her nose in here. And so instead of making one bin, I think I'm going to make 2 to start. I might end up with a 3rd at some point, but I think what you need to be able to do is utilize some of your compost, get a second bin going so that you're not using everything all at once. And I'm not sure if that makes sense, but basically we're going to get two bins going, and we're going to have one that we're going to be dumping fresh stuff in, and another one, I guess, that we're going to, or both fresh stuff, and have one we can use. So there's still quite a bit of fencing left here. I'll utilize this for something at some point. I'm not one to throw stuff away. It looks pretty bad and twisted and tangled up, but as I said, I just found this little piece that'll be good enough for what we're going to try and do with the compost bin. So let me haul this back over to where it's going to go while Ellie digs a hole here. She's after something. Oh, she likes eating roots. Okay, you go, girl. All right, here we are. So I picked this spot here. It's next to the new greenhouse we built recently this spring. And there's a little spot right in here, kind of close to the garden. I didn't want it too far from the house, just for the reason that when we're bringing stuff out. I didn't want to have to trek all the way across the yard over there or something. And I'm still working over here with the tractor. You can see I got some stuff dug up over here. So I've got some groundwork I'm working on. I didn't have any room to put it over this part, which would make the most sense because it would be between the two gardens over there. But this is the best spot we picked right here for now. It'll work. Give us a chance to try it out. Pretty sandy area in here, but we'll be bringing in some different material to start our compost pile. And first thing I'm going to do is just make a couple of loops with this here. We'll get them stood up, and then I'll go ahead and empty that. And I've got a few other things, some manure and some dirt that we can add to it also, just to get it started. Alright, sorry I don't have a microphone. We're having microphone issues. We got a new microphone ordered, but we don't have it yet, so I'm not going to talk too much through this process. Like I said, I'm not really the expert in this. I'm just trying to figure out how to do it, and I've watched a couple of videos. I'm just going to make a couple of bins with this, figure out if I need to secure it to the ground or whatnot, and we'll get them filled up. Not much else to do, I guess. Okay, there's one kind of messed up. I wanted to, as you can see, I made it about half the size. I don't know if you can hear me in the video there, but I made it half the size. And I probably just should have folded this one in half instead of cutting it and then getting it back together again, which is what I'll do with this one here. Save myself a little work. But basically, that's not too bad. It's about, I don't know, maybe a 3-foot circumference or diameter. So it's it'd be a good start. We don't produce any animal manure or anything here to put in it. It's just basically stuff out of the kitchen and leaves and grass fittings or whatever, trimmings I should say, and just whatever we can compost we're going to throw in there. So I'm going to go ahead and get the second one done. We'll have one right next to the other here, and I'll probably pick up a bale or two, a couple of bales of hay, and yeah, we'll just start throwing some stuff, beginning with what's in there. I got a few other little things and some dirt and whatnot, so I'll get that second one done. Shouldn't take me as long because I'm just going to fold that one in half. Back from chasing the cat. Okay, the second one went a lot quicker because all I did is fold it in half instead of cutting it. So I got those in place, and I guess I'll go ahead and dump this stuff from the barrel later. Actually shovel it in there, I think. And I got some other stuff to add, so we'll go ahead and get them. Well, I'll start with one anyway. Uh-oh, Ellie! Yeah, well, there wasn't much in there. A lot of it's already decomposed. It's only from maybe this year, beginning of the summer, spring, I should say. Of course, Ellie wants to get in it. Ellie, no. Nope. All right, I'm gonna go grab some manure and a little bit of topsoil, and maybe a little scoop up some grass clippings from over there that I got the other day. We'll get that covered up so it doesn't get her attention so much, maybe. Nope, not touching it. Stinks, huh? Nope. All right. So to add to my little compost pile I got going, besides some more stuff I can add that I haven't brought out yet, we got a little bit of some topsoil I'm going to throw in there, a little bit of cow manure I'll put in there, and I've got some grass clippings I'm collecting over here from what I mowed the other day, and we'll just toss that all in there and see what happens. We'll have plenty of material as time goes on, and I'm confident of that. We get all kinds of leaves you can imagine in the fall, and just all kinds of other things that we can toss in there to hopefully make a good compost pile. So we're gonna go ahead and I'll add this stuff in there and call it good. We'll get it all mixed up. This is something I really couldn't do with the barrel, the drum. Chop it all up and mix it up real well. I mean, you can mix it by stirring it, by rolling it. Obviously, that's the whole idea behind the design, but just isn't as efficient as I thought it might be. And of course, at the time, we weren't really into too much of this stuff anyway, so just kind of experimenting. Still experimenting. It's always an experiment. But I think it's just started. Yeah, so it's not much to start, but it's something. And that second one will come in handy later as the year goes on. I'm sure we'll get these filled up with some decomposing material. That's it. We'll move on to another project for today. Gotta head over to the sawmill at some point, cut up some beams, make some posts for this fencing around the garden over here. So we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for joining us.